What's going on, guys? Jay the Black here. Shout out to everyone that's tuning in. I want to talk about the now former Michigan head football coach, Sherrone Moore, was fired reportedly for cause for having an inappropriate relationship with a female staffer. This this kind of mirrors the situation that happened with Ime Udoka. He got fired due to an affair he had with someone who worked in the offices for the Celtics. This also mirrors what happened at Michigan State. Mel Tucker, who was fired for having an affair with a woman who was, I guess, working with the program, doing some work with the program. This is not a good look if everything is true. It looks to me that they may have hired private investigators to find out. Now, I would think Sherrone Moore, who I don't think is a dumb guy, would be idiotic enough to have an affair with a woman openly in the athletic department. But some of these guys are so arrogant and so cocky that they would probably do this openly, thinking that nothing would happen or not caring about consequences. Now, Sherrone Moore, is married to a woman by the name of Kelly Moore. He's married to Kelly Moore, and he's having, according to reports, he's being fired because of an affair he had with another woman. This is not a good look whatsoever. This is the second black head coach, Michigan coach, because you had the Michigan State, former Michigan State head coach Mel Tucker get fired for messing around with women and the wild head coach who working with the athletic department. And now you got Sherrone Moore being fired for something similar. This isn't a good look. This shows me that these guys lack discipline. These guys do not know how important their job is. He's working at a major university. And there are certain things that you need to refrain from. He's an ex-athlete. You know, he was a former offensive lineman for the Oklahoma Sooners. And these guys' habits are still there. The womanizing, the messing around, those habits haven't left them. Now, I would be very naive to say that this doesn't happen at other colleges, because this absolutely happens at other universities. But the thing is that if you're winning, it will be hidden. If he would have beaten Ohio State, he would not have gotten fired. Whatever happened would have been swept under the rug. But because he lost to Ohio State, and it looks like he's going to have a very difficult time winning in the Big Ten, even though he was able to win, most of his games this season. But long term, I think Michigan wanted to get rid of him anyway, and they were looking for any reason. This is why I believe they hired private investigators to look into him. Not only that, they probably had people in the athletic department reporting back to the AD and the president, letting them know of his activities. Stop messing with women that you work with, especially if you have a job like Sherrone had at Michigan, where everything that you do is going to be monitored in 2025. You can't get away with stuff like this, especially if you're not winning. And that's the thing. And that's what Mel Tucker didn't know, even though Mel Tucker was winning games. But Mel Tucker signed a contract that school desperately wanted to get out of. So they were looking for any reason to fire him. And I believe they were looking for any reason to fire Sherrone Moore. And Sherrone, according to reports, because I'm pretty sure he's going to take them to court. According to reports, and matter of fact, let's get into this article. People. This according to ABC 6. Michigan fired football coach Sherrone Moore on Wednesday after finding evidence of an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. A stunning end to a short up and down tenure that saw the Wolverines take a step back on the field after winning the national championship. This conduct constitutes a clear violation of university policy, and UM maintains zero tolerance for such behavior, athletic director Ward Emanuel said. The announcement did not include details of the alleged relationship. Moore, who was 8-5 in his debut season and 9-3 this season. So he won one more game than last season. Did not return a message seeking comment left by the Associated Press. He signed a 5-year contract with a base salary of $5.5 million last year. And this is why it was very important for them to fire him with cause, because if you fire somebody with cause, you don't have to pay them. College football's winningest program is suddenly looking for a third coach in 4 years, shortly after a busy cycle that included Lane Kiffin leaving playoff-bound Ole Miss for LSU. Moore, the team's former offensive coordinator, was promoted to lead the Wolverines after they won the 2024 national title to succeed Jim Harbaugh when he returned to the NFL to lead the Los Angeles Chargers. The 18th ranked Wolverines, 9-3, are set to play number 14 Texas on December 31st in the Citrus Bowl. Moore, in his second season, was suspended for 2 games in 2025 in part of self-imposed sanctions for NCAA violations related to a sign stealing scandal. The NCAA added a third game to the suspension, which will keep Moore off the sideline for next year's opener against Western Michigan. Moore will now miss that game for another reason. He previously deleted his entire 52-message text thread on his personal phone with former staffer Connor Stallions, who led the team's sign-stealing operation for the program. The texts were later recovered and shared with NCAA. I think they wanted to get rid of Moore, not only because long-term they did not think he would be the answer, but I think that the whole sign-stealing thing was still a black eye on Michigan, even though there were things that may have come out to prove that this was a witch hunt in some cases, but things happened. And I think that they see Moore as a representative of that situation, and I think they want to get rid of him so they can move forward in a different direction. This is why they should have probably hired somebody else, but they wanted to keep what Jim Harbaugh had built. Sherrone Moore, I don't think Sherrone Moore is a bad coach. I think this is a situation where he was trying to continue what Jim Harbaugh was doing and wasn't as successful as Michigan wanted him to be. So therefore, now he's fired. And they're saying with cause, because they want to go in a different direction. They want to get away from this sign stealing fiasco that's been going on the last couple of years. And now they're looking for a new head coach. And he's the fall guy. I want y'all to understand. See, Jim left before he could become the fall guy. This looks to me like Sherrone Moore has become the fall guy for this whole sign stealing situation. He's become the fall guy because now they don't want to pay him. Now they're saying we're firing you with cause, but he's probably going to take him to court. Honestly, gentlemen, when you work in an important position in a business, whatever it is, and you hold a position of power, do not use it to mess around with women in the athletic department. You could lose a lot. We saw with Ime Udoka, Mel Tucker, and now you're seeing it now. 3 brothers that have no discipline in the workplace. They're messing around with heifers in the workplace. In a place like Ann Arbor. Is Ann Arbor so small that you can't find a side chick outside of the athletic department? Plenty of coaches have side chicks. They keep them away from the athletic department. Okay? They keep them away from the athletic department. And that is what Sherrone Moore should have done. But Sherrone Moore was probably being arrogant and thinking that he could mess around with women in the workplace, thinking that nobody would find out. Or maybe he didn't care. See, that's the problem there. You have to care. You're making $5.5 million a year. You're the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines. I think he's a good offensive coach. I just think that he's probably at the wrong program. Will he get another opportunity to be a coach? Absolutely. I could see him being back next season, either in the NFL or college football. I just think that this situation, he really played himself. I really do. But if he would have beaten Ohio State, this news would have never came out. I'm telling you right now. If he would have beat Ohio State, we wouldn't be hearing about this. We know coaches have side chicks. There was a rumor about Auburn's former head coach, Brian Harsin, sleeping with one of the women in the athletic department. Those rumors were put out there by disgruntled Auburn fans, but it was never any evidence to prove that. Probably because if he was having an affair with her, he was keeping it away from the office. Listen, coaches do this, but they keep the women away from the office, especially as married men. When you sign these contracts, they have certain ethics. And if you don't abide by it, you're going to be gone. And everything that you worked for up until this point is going to be ruined. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Like the video and share it. Follow me on all my social media platforms, and I'll see y'all next one.